What's going on, YouTube? We're back with Shades, and today we're having an editorial. Let it be known that I'm not a big fan of making scripted content, but I felt that this was the only way for me to properly articulate my thoughts without rambling with no aim for an hour, which I have done in the past, but it's not the worst thing. But I feel like with something like this, I need to. Now, here's my editorial series called Can't Cap That. Because, you know, my laptop is shit, and recording footage is called capture. Now let it be known that I will be splitting this video into 3 separate categories: story, gameplay, and extras. Story and gameplay are self-explanatory, but extras are just cool stuff that I thought doesn't necessarily fall into that, and just something I wanted to add. So today we'll be talking about Valkyria Chronicles, released back in 2014, developed and published by Yeah, that's right, Sega makes more than just shitty Sonic games, but let's not stray too far from our subject matter. Now I shall speak while trailer footage plays! Set in a fictitious continent reminiscent of the 1930s, Valkyria Chronicles depicts Europa divided and ruled by 2 superpowers, the Empire and the Federation. The Empire has set its sights on invading the Principality of Gallia, which shares its borders with the 2 superpowers in an attempt to secure an invaluable resource, Ragnite. Within the struggle, a hero named Welkin and his fellow soldiers of the Gallian militia, Squad 7, are fighting back against the invasion and the Empire's attempts to unify the continent under its power. During the ensuing war, Squad 7 discovers the Empire possesses a secret weapon known as the Valkyria, an ancient race with special powers thought to only exist in legend. Now while the prospect of commanding a militia force to stop an oppressive empire and saving the day is alluring enough, that is just the surface value of the game. What really makes the game work is that while this overarching main plot is happening, the smaller stories that happen along the way with specific characters makes them seem more human and explains the realities and harshness of war. Without spoiling too much, one key element that made me love this game above all else was that it showed that war can both divide and unite people. Throughout the game, society and some characters are shown to have disdain for a certain race of people known as the Darksons, denoted by their dark hair. As the game progresses, you see characters who hate Darksons slowly overcome the prejudice and bonds of friendship form from there. However, it wasn't just one event that changed those perspectives, and the transition wasn't an easy one. Think back to the key word, slowly. It wasn't just overcoming prejudice and educating oneself that made them see a new perspective. It was overcoming habits and mindsets that were ingrained in these characters from an early age. I point out this specific aspect of the game because, to be honest, the game itself is very cliche. A small militia with a down-to-earth leader of a small country facing off against a powerful empire has been done to death. But what this game does well is telling the story and keeping the player engaged enough to pay attention. If the pacing and characters suck, it doesn't matter how good the story is. A good story may not save crappy characters and crappy pacing, but great characters and great attention to key moments can save a cliche story and make it great. Let me just say that gameplay here is very complicated on the surface, and explaining it is probably even more difficult. So let's start simple and keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into the complexities of playing this game. Starting top down. Each mission starts with picking your units. You always have your tank, but you get to pick from 5 infantry types: scouts, shock troopers, lancers, engineers, and snipers. Each mission varies on how many you can send in, so pick your team and you're ready to go. Of course, having at least one of every type will be helpful for what every mission throws at you. Now once you're in your mission, you have a top-down view of the map and your units. The game is turn-based, so you're able to move your units fairly freely. Note that you have a limited number of command points. Moving 1 unit of infantry uses 1 point, your tank requires 2, and using leader abilities, basically buffs, varies based on the ability. Obviously, stronger abilities use more. I've seen abilities that use upwards of 5 command points. Now with the unit selected, you're free to position them, take aim, and fire. Now each unit has a stamina bar, meaning a limit to how far they can move. The order from most to least stamina would be scouts, engineers, lancers, snipers, then tanks. The cool thing about moving units would be that it goes into a third-person shooter style and you have free control of each character. They can hide behind cover, crawl in grass, or just, stand in the open like an idiot. Whatever you want! Now firing can be the most frustrating and satisfying part of this game. Each unit has different weapons with varying amounts of accuracy and power, as well as varying amounts of armor and health. Snipers have accuracy and damage, but no armor. Lancers are strong enough to hurt vehicles and have heavy armor, but they tend to miss a lot. Using the various units at your disposal, you will lead the Gallian militia to victory against the Empire. Or at least you will, once you pass a large amount of enemy troops, capture camps, fulfill objectives, and defeat bosses, all while overcoming the various complications that can and will happen. Such as losing your tank, which results in an instant defeat, or losing a unit, which means you have 3 turns to pick them up, or they die. For good. Yeah, this game has permadeath. If you pick them up, they get sent off map, and you can bring them back via camps, which can be captured both by you and your opponent. Believe me, this lengthy explanation of how to play the game is as close to the basics as I can get. There's a lot more I can go into, like how bullshit the bosses are, or the intricacies of each unit class. But let me just say, that's basically another video in itself, and I don't have time for that. But let me just say that this game is very fun, just very, very complicated. Now let me just say there's a lot of love in this game. There's a lot in this game that you don't have to do or even pay attention to, but that's, to me, what makes it really interesting. One thing that I find really interesting would be the fact that each individual character has individual traits that make them their own unique soldier. And I'm not talking about a numbers game, no. These traits are the only extras I'm going to talk about that both help and hinder you in combat. As you level up, they gain more traits. Good ones like man or woman lover, which means when you bring them out of the gender of their preference, they get a boost. Or bad ones like pacifist, which means they don't fire. Like a wimp! These traits don't always trigger, but when they do, it makes the game interesting and honestly keeps you on your toes. This game also keeps a record on the backgrounds of all characters, and by all, I mean all. Not just the main bunch that joins you, but every single soldier you can recruit into Squad 7, and I mean every soldier. Each member of Squad 7 has a story and a background. Remember, they're a militia, they were recruited in. So, that goes to show that they're not born soldiers. It also gives the game a lot of heart, and making each individual death, well, it just makes it feel real bad. I lost one guy, and man, I felt pretty bad because his backstory was pretty sad. He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve death. And the last cool thing I want to bring up would be the extra missions you can buy. Not DLC, but in-game extra missions you can buy with in-game currency. The extra missions don't need to be done, but doing them gets you bonuses, such as strong traits for main characters, more lore, and extra cash, because you know, you need that. But, of course, and I can't stress this enough, the most expensive character mission that you can buy is a beach episode. Literally a beach episode. I'm not gonna say what happens, but it is what it is. Because, you know, it's an anime style game. Why not? Now that's all I can say about the game without spoiling boatloads of information, but I do want to add a personal note if I haven't already convinced you to buy the game already. This game is not only solid, but beautiful as well. The cutscenes are breathtaking and the art style works with the time period this game takes place in. The gameplay is challenging, but balanced enough to feel a genuine sense of success when you finally win. And while the story is cliche, it's portrayed in such a beautiful manner that you can't help but get emotionally involved with the characters and the journey they're taking. This game currently is on Steam for I think $20. And I can say with full confidence, sale or no sale, the game is worth every penny. And it comes with the DLC that it had in its original PSP release. It comes with it, so come on, you're getting the best bang for your buck here. Okay guys, this has been my first editorial that I've ever done. Let me just say that I was very nervous making this. Once again, a lot of the time I was looking down at my script. I don't want to keep doing that in the future, but I do want to keep making videos like this. It's very fun, and it allows me to review games that I can't record on this setup, and also gives a more deep analysis as to what I feel about games I've already played. I've already considered making editorials like this for games like Persona or Amnesia Memories, games where my initial reaction isn't exactly what I think of in hindsight. But if you like these videos, feel free to hit that like button and comment on games I should make these videos on. Of course, they have to be games I've played or games that I'm very familiar with, but I do want to keep doing this because it's fun for me to inform people on my more in-depth opinion rather than just a spur-of-the-moment feeling. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me or from the series, hit that subscribe button. And you're not exiting the Shadyverse. My name's Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed this editorial. See you guys later.